Probably wondering, with this fantastic title, what has Zach prepared for us today? A mind-bending 25 move, insane. Today we have a move or a game by two incredibly unknown chess players. Literally, the guy who played this masterpiece has 19 games in the database. So by all means, anybody from anywhere, just like he says in Ratatouille, not anyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. The game started off with the white pieces playing e4 and his opponent responding with e5. So far so good. Knight f3, probably the most popular three moves in the history of chess. And instead of going with the fourth most popular, his opponent goes with the second most popular move for the black pieces in this position. This is known as the Petrov's defense. And here it's a simple opening. Really, it's known as being a draw-ish opening because it creates a lot of symmetrical pawn structures between both sides, and that creates, at the super high GM level, a lot of draws. So the white pieces took on e5, and usually black is supposed to brush off this knight with d6. The knight goes back, and then this knight takes the pawn. Kind of a hanky-panky, you know what I'm saying? But instead, his opponent does the less popular move, knight takes e4, just jumping the gun and taking the pawn immediately. It's still fine, they're not losing, but this gets into complicated lines. You see here, white rebuttals with queen e2, attacking this knight, though we both know this is not just an attack. If the knight were to move from this attack, black are lost on move 4. Here white have knight c6 check, discover check, attacking the queen. Queen cannot move and block because queen still attacked. And so black just loses a queen here. Known trap in the Petrovs, do not fall for it. So his opponent responds with, okay, you attack me, I attack you. So this time it doesn't work because I take the knight defending mine. You're going, you're done. You're done here. Okay, the black pieces says, well, okay, your queen is undefended, so they still attack this knight, and this is still book move. So d6 attacking this knight, and white are inclined to give this knight back, though they're going to do their best to get some material in exchange for it. So they play d4. Here d4 means that if you take my knight directly, I take. This is, by the way, the best move order, but this is the idea. You take, I take, and at least I take your pawn for a pawn up in doing so. Well, here, the black pieces play the first mistake of the game, knight d7. They tried to add more pressure on this knight while the queen is undefended and just drilling on this pin. But the problem with the cockiness of this knight is that we can defend this more, and pawns are better at defending than knights. In other words, if you take my knight here, I can take this, and because this pawn is defended by a pawn, your knight cannot win back this pawn, and I would be up a pawn. So f4 creates some disturbance in the black pieces. How do you keep on attacking this knight? You are risking literally being a pawn down now. They go in for full force. f6 is played here. Not the most advised move. There's a famous chess YouTuber called Benjamin Feingold, and he says, never play f6 as the black pieces for right reasons. We'll see how white will penetrate from that exact mistake here, exact positional mistake played in this game. And so here, white just plays a calm move. You know what? Relax. Bishop e2, development, because here, we have so far forgotten about development in this game, being wrapped up around this undefended knight. And yeah, it's just here in the center. It's an extra knight. It's being given up, but we don't know when. It's like a contract without expiry date. And so here we have bishop e2. Finally, some development, maybe to castle, maybe to do more development. We don't know. I do, but you don't know yet. F takes e5 is played. And here we take back with the f-pawn. Very nice move. Why the f-pawn and not the d-pawn? You have to think a little bit deeper about your plans in this position. Here, if you plan on castling on the next move, the rook will be on this f-file. So what better to do than to take here in advance, preparing castles, and already bringing your rook into the fight. wasting no time. Why not? So his opponent took back this pawn, and here, yes, black is holding the fort. Yes, it is equal. But who do you really rather in this position? The black pieces with this bishop here, I just can't stand it, and this isolated pawn, and this king in the center, and this lack of development, or the white pieces, who have two pieces developed as well, but bring in a third with castling, and here the rook is involved immediately. I favor the white pieces. Castling is a mistake, but the game review is actually not accurate here. Castling was the second best move in this position. Okay, so black now see an opportunity because white has castled. And they go for e takes d4. Though, this is the pawn of too much. In chess, greediness is not rewarded, it's punished most oftentimes. So that's why one must be careful before taking too much material. If you take this pawn on d4, yes, you're opening up this queen site. I'm not going to trade queens and give you a pawn up in the endgame. And I'm not going to take here either because it gives my bishop. Instead, white prepared a beautiful rebuttal that takes into account the number of attacking pieces they have, plus more pieces that are not even alive yet, haven't even spawned on the board yet. So let's see it. White goes with the tempo gaining, initiative taking, bishop h5 check on the king. A very direct move that is usually not a good check because usually black just have g6 defense and it's attacking your bishop and you have to move it, and the check is not even good in the first place because it doesn't affect anything. You can check a king, but if the king doesn't move, the king can still castle, the king is still safe. So bishop h5 in this scenario is different because if black defends with g6 now, we can do the beautiful bishop takes g6, sacking the bishop, and after h takes g6, now we have queen takes g6. We weren't here for the two pawns that we got in the exchange of that sacrifice. No. We're here for the rook pressing on f7, preventing this queen from blocking with queen f7, and thus forcing this king on to d8, creating a huge weakness here. I want you to identify it. This makes a huge weakness on this diagonal and creates bishop g5. Bishop g5 pinning the queen to the king, and after useless knight f6 to try to block, you're still winning a queen. And it's completely over in that position. So with bishop h5, we have involved 1, 2, and 3 pieces and a piece on the floor. Like this. And so when you really think about it, bishop h5 is a forcing move, forcing king d8 immediately. And now comes the delicious part of the meal where you receive the dessert, the tiramisu, after that beautiful pasta. Well, here we go. Bishop g5 comes in. This is good from a sentimental point of view because this bishop has been waiting this entire war to say his piece, to get his bum into the game. And he's here, he's present, he's attacking. And so this is a fake pin because you are sacrificed. Like this guy's not defended. It's a sacrifice. Guy came into the war, sacrificed himself, and is out. Get your money. And so queen can't take because it's mate. It's beautiful, right? So this is a pin, and black is really in trouble unless they do one move that saves themselves for now. And that is knight f6. Knight f6 blocks, and that knight is super well defended. And here it's a bit harder for the white pieces to continue attacking. What does white play here? Pause the video if you want to find this winning combination here. But the white pieces ended this game in the next 2 moves. How? By playing the legendary rook takes f6, sacrificing a rook and a queen at the same time. This happens almost never in chess, and let's break it down because everything about this is absolutely breathtaking. On rook takes f6, black have options to take this queen, to take this rook, to even move this queen. None of it works, of course, because this position is without mercy. Let's look at him. If g takes f6, we have the same exact thing we had before. Bishop takes f6, pinning this queen to the king, so you cannot take my queen. And if you take this bishop, then I will have sacrificed just more pieces to then deliver checkmate on e8. Okay, so what if you move your queen out of there? Here we have rook takes f8, double checkmate on the king. And so what if black plays queen takes e4? Now white has the enchanted, the Machiavellian, rook d6, double checkmate on the king. I have nothing to say. Takes your speech away. I hope you have an amazing day.